Good evening, friends. My name is Akshat Sinha, as most of you know, and I'm your host for the evening for the awareness series Coping Up session number 16, which today we are doing with psychologist and dance movement therapy practitioner Sukriti Dua. Welcome to the show, Sukriti.
Thank you so much, Akshat, for having me here.
Yeah. So Sukriti, I'll just introduce you briefly to people so that they know whom they're speaking with. So
Yeah.
Sukriti is a master's in clinical psychology and she has a certification in creative movement therapy from CMTAI. She's been working majorly with children of all age groups and with various needs while visiting NGOs, intervention centers, schools, private organizations, and more. She has been working, she has been counseling and movement-based interventions. Her counseling work is also extended to adults and young adults through consultancy, and she has also a published research with her paper, The Effect of Dance on Self, in an ISBN book. So I think, first of all, the first thing that comes to mind is what exactly is dance movement therapy? So how to define that?
Yeah, I think this is the most asked. This has to be like the number one asked question with me for all the sessions that I have done.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
let's kind of bifurcate that into two different paths. Like one is movement and the other is therapy. So therapy is something that makes us feel good, that makes us feel better, that helps us in
Right.
our personal growth in some way. And movement is something that we do with our body. So
Right.
basically, it is connecting the mind and the body together in one form of modality, right? So
Okay.
like in
Right.
usual verbal therapy, our medium is communication, right? Our medium is verbal.
Right.
That
Right.
that's our medium. And in dance movement therapy, the medium is not just the verbal but also the body, right? So
Right.
we are going to equally use movement and dance through the therapeutic work along with the psychological concepts that we do in usual psychotherapy as well. So it's kind of a mix of the mind and
Right.
the body work, which mind and body are both mediums with which we kind of do. So you can say there will
Right.
be verbal communication, and you can also say that there will be a lot of non-verbal work where you will be doing things with your body, or you would be moving around, or you would be dancing. That would be totally different. But just to kind of give a clearer
Okay.
picture of the dance movement aspect, it's not
Right.
necessary that it will be dance forms per se, yeah, or it will be
Okay.
technical in any way. It would just be movement. Free movement
Right.
relating to some instructions that are given, or what you would like to do, or how to express through your body, not just using verbal, but also using the non-verbal, which is equally part of our process, right? We exist
Right.
because we are body in certain ways as well. We exist because we have our mind. So that
Right.
mind and body together using that in a setup is what a dance movement therapy is all about.
Right. I mean, I'm sure that you must have a lot of experience explaining this because when you put these three different terms together, dance, movement, and therapy, I'm sure a lot of people get confused as to what follows what. My own perception of dance, I mean, so dance and movement, they need, I mean, you've kind of explained how they are, but dance would be a little more rhythmic or something. I mean, is that the differentiator of the dance being a part of this?
Right. So it's not a differentiator. So the rhythm will be there. Yes, the rhythm is going to
Right.
be a part of it. The rhythm is not defined by the
Hmm. Hmm.
therapist, facilitator, or by
Right.
anybody else. It is going to be your own rhythm. So, for
Right.
example, in a regular dance class, you will be given techniques and musicality of how to perform on a particular beat. But
Correct.
whereas dance will be used as regular dancing, like there is no off beat, there is no on beat, there is just what your body, how does your body rhythm want to function, particularly when we are doing certain activities. And it could also be with music or without music. It does not necessarily have to have music in the background as well. You could be
Right.
moving without music as well, and you could be creating your own personal rhythm. So to make it a little bit more clear, it's a
Hmm.
little bit towards personal movement language. What we use is
Okay.
personal movement language. Personal, something that is unique to you.
Right.
Movement, that is the moving, and language is a form of communication. So what we access in dance movement therapy is a personal movement language, right? Each person's individual way of moving and communicating through their own body, which can be
Right.
rhythmic to them. We don't see
Okay.
whether it's correct rhythm or wrong rhythm or anything like that. It's not pointed because ultimately it is a therapeutic space then, right? And therapeutic
Right.
spaces have judgmentality. So we don't kind of put those structures and techniques. It's individual experience based.
So yeah, I mean, when I meant rhythm, when I said rhythm, I meant the inner rhythm. You know, that's when you connect, and that's the kind of the differentiator, or rather, something that identifies a good dancer, that they are able to build their rhythm around. So they are able to identify their own rhythm. I think that should be the first starting point for an individual to find their rhythm. And but yeah, I also want to know. So like you mentioned that. Sorry.
To cut a little bit there, but just
Yeah.
to give that clarity, because you did mention a good dancer and the inner rhythm together. So in this case, it is not about how good or bad you
Yeah.
can move. There is no good or bad. There is no evaluation system of a particular way of doing certain things. It's your way of doing it. It's your rhythm. So it's not about finding a rhythm. Definitely
Right.
not. But there
Okay.
can be rhythm there can be rhythm in it. Rhythm can be used as a part of the process, but it's not about the process is not about finding it.
And it's not about the judgment of, kind of comparisons of any sorts,
Not
which is
good
not good.
dancer, bad dancer, non-dancer, not a dancer,
Right.
somebody who probably cannot even move their legs, is sitting down,
Right.
does not, no bar
So,
for yeah.
so it's irrespective of all these factors, as you've mentioned.
Right.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
So, like you also mentioned that in a lot of other therapies, we use verbal communication to, engage with people. How does, I mean, apart from the dance or the movement being used in this therapy, how else does it differ, and what is it used for? If people could kind of understand, how is it, really helpful?
Right. So the difference is a little bit what we've just covered in the previous thing, right? How different it
Right.
is using the verbal medium. The regular therapy uses verbal
Right.
medium, and this is the non-verbal, the body as well in the form of
Right.
therapy as well. Now, what all its purview can be is basically, like I said, anywhere, anybody, and anything. In that sense, there is no certain way as to it only works with this population or only works with that type of population. You would have to design interventions based on the population. So it
Okay.
works with children as well, adults as well, elderly as well. And in the work that I have done, I have worked least with elderly though, but I know quite a few people who do a lot of work with elderly as well through that. So in that, the DMT work is done mostly sitting. So like I'm sitting right now on a chair, or you're sitting on a chair. It would
Right.
probably involve the upper half of the body moving, or even at the lower half while sitting. So you don't probably move around in the room per se,
Right.
but you do move in your own ways, in your
Right.
individual, whatever you can do, right? So it can
Yeah.
be any population, special needs, clinical, non-clinical, but of course the training level of each individual is different, just like training level of even a psychotherapist, a regular therapist, analyst, all of that kind of differs. So same way in dance movement therapy, if you have facilitator, practitioner, therapist, you have these levels as well. So all of
Right.
these levels enable you to practice different types of work as well.
Right. So as you mentioned about the children and meeting with them and doing it with schools and all. So are these is this therapy kind of a group therapy? Is it an individual therapy, or are they all different kinds of things?
Brilliant question, because again, one very, very much asked one, but it is presumably group for a lot of people actually, because
Right.
it does involve social skills, it does involve a lot of interaction with other people, but it can be same way used for the individual as well. The only difference kind of being is that in a group therapy format, there's a chance that people will be less inhibited towards kind of doing certain things, because they won't be very focused on whether I can move in a certain way or not, or whether I can do this or should I do it with people. But it can also work the other way, that some people can be very conscious in a group
Right.
of
Right.
of moving as well, and what do I do, other people are probably doing it better, even though
Right.
it's not
Right.
about
Again, the comparison. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Even though the purpose is not better or bad or in any way, the purpose is just being yourself. So
Right.
in the individual format, there could be probably two ways in which it could be working. Is one where that person is more comfortable with movement, right? The person is probably open about their own body, so that's why they can explore it in an individual format. Because in individual format, there might be chances that the facilitator or therapist will sometimes move with you, but sometimes maybe not. Sometimes may just be
Okay.
observer. So
Right.
that person may be comfortable in being looked at while moving as well in certain ways, right? So that plays a role. And in the individual, the other thing of, just being able to put yourself in an individual place and work at an individual level, and the goals will be very different, right? So
Right.
if I look at with children, just as an example, so with children, the individual goals may be a lot more specific towards their own self, like self-confidence, self-esteem, developing slight communication skills at very limited fashion. But in group work, it could be a lot more like social skills, eye contact, working with other people, being with other children,
Right.
what are the ways I can interact. So it kind of goals differ based on the group and individual, but it can work in both as well.
Right. Excellent. So I don't know, maybe it's time for us to now move to a more practical setting. So if you are ready, I'll explain to the listeners as to what we plan to do right now. So what we plan to do,
So,
thanks. So what we plan to do is, the comments will be switched off so that you can concentrate and see Sukriti quite clearly. I will also be switching myself on a back camera, so I will not be visible. You'll just be looking at X. It's all being done so that you have your focus, and your objective would be better served when you are looking at something without any distractions. It should be about 25 minutes
yes,
right? But yeah,
about
something
10
like
to
that.
15.
And then we will come back, and we are open to questions, comments, any queries. Hold on to them. We'll come back once we come back after the performance, not the performance, after the the
So
movement,
movement.
the dance movement. We will come back, and we will take questions. We will still have time to speak. So please stay put, and yeah, over to you.
Yeah, so just additional while I speak to anyone else who's participating as well. So in this, you are just required to have a space where you can just move around you. So make sure you've kept your phone or iPad or laptop, whatever you are doing this live with, just keep it at a particular place and in front of you as much as you can hear me. You'll have to hear a few instructions, and just make sure you have some space to move around. I'll be giving a few instructions for us to do things. It is not me doing it. It will have to be everybody as well doing as well, because we love to hear about your experience after it. So it'll just be a short movement experience that we all have together. Yeah. So let's get up from wherever we're at. Okay. Make sure that you have some space wherever you are. Make sure that you're comfortable in your own space wherever you are. You have enough space to move around. And slowly, whenever you're comfortable, whenever you're standing in your own space, just start walking. Start walking in whatever space you have. You could be walking in a pattern. You could be walking in a particular way. Start walking anywhere in the room. And slowly fasten your speed. Try to walk a little faster. Just a little faster than you were doing before. Try to explore different directions. And go even a little faster, as fast as you can walk without running. As fast as you can walk without running. And slowly get into slow motion. Taking one small step at a time. Slow motion. Walking in slow motion. And going back to your normal speed. Going back to your normal speed. Walking around in a normal manner. Whatever the normal speed is for you. And taking it to the super fast level. Super fast. Taking it to the super fast level. Exploring different directions, maybe seeing a corner of the room that you have never explored before. Run to that. Run to another place. And statue. Stay there. Stay in that statue. Breathe. And go back to the fast speed. Go back to the fast speed. Super fast speed. And slow motion. Slowly taking slow steps. Think what's going on within you as you take these slow steps. And walking at your normal speed again. Again, this time, noticing what's going on in your mind as you walk in this normal speed. Trying to walk backwards. And what comes to your mind while you walk backwards. And going forward fast. Slow motion. Normal. Really fast. Slow motion. Normal. Backwards. And really fast. Forward. And statue. Taking a deep breath wherever you are. Standing wherever you are. Keeping in your mind all the speeds that you just did. Doing it really slow, in slow motion. Going really fast. As fast as you can without running. And the normal speed, the statue, the moving backward. What did that feel like? What are different things that come to your mind with respect to yourself? Things that may be moving the slow, things that are moving really fast right now, things that are moving at a normal speed, and things that are probably going backward. One last time with this thought in our mind, we're going to go through all these different speeds, keeping in mind the things that are going slow, the things that are going fast, things that are going normal, and things that are going back. Yeah? This time we're going to notice our thoughts and reflect on ourselves as to what we can relate this movement to. Okay, let's start by walking normally. What comes to your mind? What is normal for you right now? Notice that and keep walking with it. And going backwards, noticing anything right now that for you may be going in a backward direction. Anything with respect to yourself that's going in a backward direction. Keeping that with you and walking backwards. And going really, really fast as you can without running in different directions. What in your life right now is moving this fast? What can you reflect on? Something that's just going on and on. And walking with it. And slowing it down to the slow motion. What right now is really, really slow, maybe calming, maybe difficult. What is just really, really slow. And slowly moving with that. And slowly coming to a halt, not moving, with your feet on the ground, probably standing straight. What has halted and what stays with you? Take a deep breath in together and slowly out. And another deep breath in and out. Okay, let's come back to where we were. Thank you for taking part in the movement experience. Coming back to where you were sitting down probably. Can you see me again? I hope I'm not off the...
No, absolutely
chart.
fine.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so maybe you can switch the comments back on.
Yeah, I'll just do that. 1 minute. Right. So,
Okay, so maybe you want to start with while we have anyone who wants to reflect. So basically, if there's anyone over there who is part of the experience, who wants to share something that they felt, what this felt like, what doing this felt like, and what in them kind of, if you were reminded about anything that came up for you, anything that you could notice within yourself, please feel free to share in the chat itself. Yeah. So let's probably, while we have other people putting down in the chat, I'd just like to mention that this is a non-judgmental space. We will do it as much as possible, as less as possible. And you could share whatever is comfortable to you. And nobody is going to judge you for that. If somebody judges in the comments, we can probably throw them out of the live because that's not the vibe we want to create here. Yeah?
right.
Okay. I think Preeti is already saying that it was superb. So, Preeti, maybe you want to talk about what it felt like for you. Yeah, more than the experiences, what it was for you personally. And Lakshat, maybe by then, do you want to share how, if you were participating? I'm not sure if you were. Yeah.
No. So
So if
it
you
was not visible, but I did participate. So, although I have limited space here, so I kind of did it in a, so, but I could understand by the second thing as to what was probably expected. And then by the third time when we were doing it, I was not thinking on what I was doing. So, I mean, that's my, first I was trying to just make sure that I was not bumping into things, and, just making sure of the pattern that I was doing. By the second time I had worked out the pattern and then I was just following what is being said. And in the third one, the body was already taking over in the sense that I was not, and mind has this, it flies, right? So I'm not necessarily able to trace back all that I, kind of thought about and things. It just flew from one thing to the other, I mean, it seemed to go on its own journey. I was not even a traveler or a co-passenger on that. It just traveled. And by the end of it, interestingly, I don't know why, but I was thinking about my school days and I have no clue how I reached that point. Right. So, I mean, so this is something that I can share, that this is what I felt. Yeah. So I'm still
maybe
waiting. Yeah.
maybe this movement kind of reflected for you as something like this? For somewhere this kind of this movement or the way your body moved, this kind of reminded you of what it was for you for your during your school days at some point of time. Maybe just a thought that could.
Maybe. Or it could be some object in my room, because you mentioned somewhere when you were talking about look at the corner, which you have probably never looked at. So I was just seeing things. I don't know. Maybe there was a trigger that, kind of just triggered it for me. Preeti is saying something, and she's saying that I felt like we should not forget to slow down in our day-to-day race.
Yeah, so that's an interesting thought with
Yeah.
respect to the speed, right? Because sometimes we're moving fast, sometimes we're moving slow, but maybe for you it feels like you're moving fast regularly in a day-to-day race, and it's good to slow down. So that's a great takeaway. Thank you, Preeti, for sharing that. Yeah,
Right. So
right. So
I would,
I don't know if there's anyone else who would like to share. You could drop that in, and maybe we could go to the. Let me share a little bit about what we did, and then
right,
we could go to any that we had. So
right,
basically, what we did with respect to this was a little bit of movement reflexes, right? So we were kind of immediately changing speeds, right? Working at a speed, suddenly slowing down, suddenly going fast, suddenly going in another direction. So
right,
we were immediately changing speeds, right? So this is something in dance movement therapy called as movement reflexes. So you immediately change that, and like you said, for you, the feeling that it was for you because your body took over after a point, right? Like you
right.
couldn't think of because it was just happening.
Yeah,
So that's kind of it is where in such a space where your body is involved in your process, and this is a activity usually used in the very beginning of
hmm,
doing work because it helps the individual not just focus on their mind but on their body as well, and let the body lead sometimes as well. So that
right,
is one of the very beginning activities that are done in dance movement therapy, and it could be done in a group setting. In a group setting, it's a lot more fun and different because you have different people moving in when you're running, so you have to focus not on bumping in the other person, you have to focus on everybody else's energies. So that's there. When you're doing it individually, you focus a lot more internally, right? So
right,
like I said in the beginning, the individual and group goal of doing the same activity will be different as well.
right,
Yeah.
right. So what it also reminded me of was, so being in theater at some point of time, a lot of, so I mean, generally when we start off, the warm up is generally with walking in different directions, but it was obviously always a group exercise in terms of
Yeah.
you look at the other person, you actually look into their eyes, you kind of make note of that, and there are other things involved with that. But it could be, that could be actually one of the reasons why I went back to my school. That's how the
Yeah.
connection just, sort of cropped up.
Yeah, and that's exactly what is for you or anyone else who participated as well to reflect on by
Yeah,
yourself what experience was for you, even if you were not able to share this. But anything that's coming in your mind and what
yeah.
it really meant, it just really helps to journal sometimes about it and just journal as to Akshat, are you still there? I kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
lost
yeah.
you for a while. Hello.
Yeah. Is it back
Yeah,
on?
I
Are you
lost
back?
you for a while.
Yeah, there was a call. I'm so sorry. I can't predict those things, but
Yeah,
yeah, it just kind of popped up. Yeah. So,
yeah,
so before this session, I had thought that I'll ask you about how, I mean, so dance forms and dance movement, how much they differ from each other, but they're completely different as I can, just the experiential part of it.
yeah.
Uh, how, I mean, so we did this, this short exercise, and, I'm sure that there are more things, and, there is an understanding of this also, and there's a reflection part to this also. But how does it really help? I mean, if you could, kind of tell us about that. How does this really help? I mean, is there a maybe there's something from your experience that you can share, that this is, I mean, without names, yeah, but some anecdotes or some stories or something, how did it help an individual? And
Not really anecdotes as such because I'm sure you understand the
yeah, yeah,
confidentiality as
absolutely,
well in that.
absolutely, yeah,
Since in general, like if you ask me how does it help, I would say how does therapy help? How does usual regular therapy help? And
right,
your answer would probably be helps me understand more about myself. It helps me understand and process things that are going around me,
Right.
and it kind of just brings things into a different perspective, or makes me think in a different way, or build resources and coping mechanisms for dealing with certain things, right? So this
Right.
is the exact same that dance movement therapy can help with as well. Like I said, it is a therapeutic modality, just like the verbal modality. It just
Right.
involves body work as well, right? It involves the usage of the body as a
Mhm.
process in therapy, and not just usage of the cognitions, the feelings, and thoughts. So, not just things that exist in our brain, but also
Right.
things that exist in our bodily
Physical.
structure. So a lot of times that we also store muscle memory, right? A lot of
Yeah.
times we store, by muscle memory means that certain poses or certain gestures or certain ways in which we kind of be in our body remind us of certain things. For example, the moment we start sitting straight quite a lot for some of us, not again common for everybody else. For some of us, for example, I'll just say for me, if I just sit straight, it kind of reminds me of being in a setting where I have to be absolutely formal and I cannot relax. So this
Right.
kind of brings the of tension for me. For me, it brings the memory of tension that okay, something like this can evoke tension in me. So if it's for me
Right.
like that, and if my therapist is going to be working with me, they might be working with my tension through
Mm.
doing certain movements that revolve around being really structured,
Right.
right? So it depends on completely how and when your therapist, your group, your facilitator wants to work with you and the goals that you're trying to accomplish. So I would say it helps in all the psychological goals that any other therapy format also can.
So you've been, I mean, so we've just spoken about therapy and counseling. So you've been conducting these sessions online, I assume, because physical
Yeah.
interaction is kind of, we are in a lockdown situation, so that's not
Yeah.
happening. How comfortable and convenient have you found that? How helpful is it?
So I would say it is very, very challenging, especially
Right.
group work,
Right.
because group work is a lot more about presence with each other, about moving with each other, about doing things that involve being with each other as well, right?
Right.
And being present in the moment as well. But in this case, I have had to do a lot of more imaginatory stuff, do a lot of, so there's a technique called imagery as well. So
Right.
we do a we'll have to do a lot of more individual work. Even if we're doing in a group setting, it is more individualistic with a group type of format per se.
Right.
So it is very challenging to do movement work, but I have been fairly all right though while doing regular counseling or therapy work, because it's still more easier than this. Though even in
Right.
that case, I would say the online modality kind of really cuts off from the physical experience of being
Physical.
in front of someone, and I feel like there's a lot more concentration that you have to do while being on online sessions, because you have to kind of really pay attention to a lot of cues, to a lot of different things. You have to take care of the lag that might
Right.
come in. That lag
Absolutely.
itself kind of reduces maybe the empathy that we try to portray through a session. That empathy
True.
goes away through the screen half the times if there's a lag.
Yeah.
So those things do get challenging. But I would say that I have felt it easier with people who I have worked with for a long time, because
Okay.
they do understand in that sense. But for other people in that way, it has been difficult to build new rapport and comfort. But for previous people, it has been easier to kind of establish that. Yeah.
Right. Right. So yeah, challenging times, challenging things, but we need to work on. And I'm really thankful that you are continuing to do these things and sessions despite the challenges. And I'm sure network issues and lags and a lot of things also add anxiety and kind of frustration too, and it builds up. And I really understand that that gap or that lag can actually remove the empathy at that right moment. The response needs to be there and the cues that you need to pick up. At the same time,
Yeah.
so we are all hopeful that we will go back to a world which we are more familiar with, where the physical, we can be present in front of each other. Uh, if Unless there is anything that our listeners would want to ask, or you would like to share with our listeners, I think we are coming to the end of our session here.
Yes, absolutely. So I think we'd leave it open for any other questions that people have. So anyone who has any questions with respect to uh, anything that has been discussed in the session, the experience that you went through, or dance movement therapy in general, please feel free to put that down in the comments. We'll try to address that, and by the time we have something like that. Not much to really share, but just to add on to the previous question
Right,
about the online work, I
right,
feel like it's even more challenging that you have mentioned already. But
right.
I think it is all the more important now, given that
Yeah,
mental health crisis itself may be in place soon or has already seen being played. I don't know about you, but I have
right,
noticed a lot of people, me usually, my family members also, or certain friends, everyone experiencing a lot of different things than usual that they do otherwise, because being kind of locked down or staying in certain spaces with the same kind of people can
yeah.
lead to a lot of different thoughts and different
Emotion. Yeah,
feelings. It's not an experience you've had before, right? So
absolutely.
it is a major, and being able to even deal with the uncertainty that is happening all around us. We don't know when all of this will be fine. Even if all of this will be fine, we don't know if our lives will be exactly like they were before, because it's
Right.
not like there's a total shutdown button to this, right? It's
Yeah.
it's going to take a long time for it to go, and probably till the time vaccines are in, we cannot say something like this is happening. Yeah. So I don't
In,
think there are
yeah.
questions. I
Yeah,
think
but in any
most.
case, so I kind of agree with you. It's not as if we're just going to switch back to what we were doing before, or even how we were doing it, because our relationships would have changed. We have
Yeah.
changed, everybody. Our approach, our priorities, everything is kind of changing. Everybody I see around myself are reassessing themselves. And as you mentioned, this entire thing of being confined to spaces with people and all that can add to your stress levels also. But and which is why these mental health sessions which we are doing with this initiative by Preeti Singh, that we are trying to bring mental health specialists to speak to people. And I would also like to add that Sukriti is on Instagram. She's there. I mean, in case anybody has any questions, anybody wants to speak to her, get in touch with her, you can message her directly, you can message us, you can message Mind at Ease. We are all there for each other. That should be the whole point. And I'm really thankful for the session. Thank you so much, Sukriti, for conducting this session. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
thank you so much for all the questions as well, and thank you everyone for joining in, and all those who took part actively in the movement
Right,
experience as well. So much everyone for joining in.
right. Thank you
As
so much.
I said, I think you can reach out to me. My Instagram handle is already there on top,
Right,
psychologist Sukriti. So feel free to go about that. Okay.
right. So take
Varsha,
care, stay safe, everyone. Yeah. Thank you, Sukriti. Bye bye.
stay safe everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye.